So, hi, Hunter Lineberry. How are you doing today?
Hello, Montana. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the Single Besties podcast. I think this is inadvertently like your audience now, the single girlies.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
So I found you through Instagram, like you showed up on my For You page because you danced to Fergalicious, which I just need to know, first of all, how'd you know to use Fergalicious? Because you know the girlies love that song. So, and second of all, you asked ChatGPT to help you find a wife. So let's get into it. What made you decide to bring ChatGPT into this journey of helping you find a wife?
Um, I was uh I was having a little therapy session with ChatGPT one day, as you do, and I was just venting about how horrible the dating apps are, and I was like, how can I still like expose myself to the public and maybe people that are looking to date, but not have to pay a horrible app to do a horrible job. And and so I was like, well, I've posted some stuff on TikTok in the past. It's like talking about like anxiety and depression and stuff, just trying to get other people's feedback. And I was like, all right, well, what if I, you know, employ you to give me ideas for things to post to like try and find a partner. So that's really how it happened. I was just laying on the couch, kind of depressed from dealing with dating apps and them not working and me paying for them, which is I just feel like it's immoral.
I think it's so sick how they profit off of us wanting to find love by making you pay. Because there used to be a time where you didn't have to pay,
Oh
and
yeah,
now
I remember. I remember when like Tinder started coming out and stuff, and yeah, and then I was in a relationship for a while, and then you jump back in, and it was like, well, now you got to pay. It's like, oh, people liked you, but you got to pay to see it. it's
and you run out of likes and then you can't go back. I remember you used to could shake on Bumble and would be able to go back. Now I don't use them either. They're just so depressing. So I relate with that. And I also love that you use ChatGPT as your therapist because she's also mine. I need to know, is your ChatGPT, before we even move forward, is she a girl or a boy?
She's a girl. She's a
Do you
girl.
have a name for her?
I don't. Somebody actually suggested they asked ChatGPT what it wanted to name itself. I haven't done that yet. So,
That scares me a bit. That scares me a bit.
yeah.
Okay, so how did you know? Like, how did you come up with the Fergal? Like, that one just went crazy viral. You've gained like 20,000 followers in a couple weeks. Like, did you think it was going to go viral? And just like, what gave you that idea? Because it said just do a dance move, and you gave us a full music video.
Well, it tends to give these suggestions, and I feel like if I did exactly what it said, it would be very dry and kind of robotic. So I've got to throw my personality in there. I don't know. I like editing videos and whatnot, so sometimes I just have the vision. It just it just comes to me. So I was like, Fergalicious would be perfect for this, and yeah, I don't know. It worked out, and I did not think that it was gonna pop off the way it did.
No, I love that. I love that. It's amazing and it lives in my head rent free. It's great with the pool too. And I knew you were a Florida boy. I knew you were a Florida boy. That's why we were when we were chatting on the because I felt like when you replied that you would come on the podcast, I felt like it was the biggest celebrity ever because that's how much the video's been living in my head rent free. So like, thank you for that. But when I found out that you live in I don't know if you wanted to tell that, but if you live in St. Augustine and I'm from like Neptune Beach, I was like, oh my God, he's good people.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yep, Florida. Florida's where I'm at. I like to be here. I love it here. So
That's awesome. So you said you were like kind of scrolling or laying on the couch, like kind of anxious, depressed, like about the dating app situation. Was there a specific moment or anything like from your past relation? Like how long had you been single before you came to this like realization that it's kind of trash these days?
I mean, I feel like everybody who's on, well, a lot of people on dating apps, it's like they were just in a relationship recently. Everybody kind of gets in that slump, and they're like, I need to hop on. Um, I've been single. I was in a relationship a little over half a year ago. It's probably like 7 or 8 months. And it was a it was a few years long. So it was a decent serious relationship. Um, yeah. So just trying to navigate being single again, and then the that dating app depression hits.
This is like off topic of the chat GPT and all of this, but like when guys go through breakups, because I feel like I have a lot of women on here, like how do guys deal with breakups? Like how do you guys deal with it? Or how did you?
I'm fortunate enough that I've got a great family. We've got a small, tight little circle, and everybody is gets along with each other pretty well. So I lean on them, and then you know, hanging out with hanging out with your friends as much as you can. But I'm 32, so life is happening a lot for people, and so I do lean on my family a lot, just because a lot of the friends, they have kids and wives and whatnot. That's just the era that I'm in right now. So I'm just lucky I've got the family to lean on.
So has all this attention from the reels changed the way that you're approaching this series or dating in general?
Yes, for sure. Um, Dating in general, my I didn't think it was gonna go viral like this. So my approach to it in general is take it slow and day by day. It's funny. People are like, "How are you on day 20 and you don't have a wife yet?" I'm like, "Come on, let's be real. Let's be real here. Like, even if I had met her, I don't know if I would know quite yet. It's going to take some time to, you know, dissect that. People like to pretend and be different. You got to take your time with these things. Um, as far as my approach, I'm just kind of doing the same thing. I've definitely, now that it's gained some traction, I do want to be more consistent, um, because I do like the entertainment side of it. I like, making people smile and, you know, yeah, just spreading the laughs and the joy. So that's definitely a big motivating factor of it all. And the woman that I need in my life is going to show up at some point. So just not trying to rush it and keep doing this because I'm enjoying it, and it'll happen.
I think that's really smart. I think that's really smart. And there's so many things like you can even do with it. And you have a great personality. It shows through on the content. So I think that's great. Have you had some wild DMs though? Like I can only imagine. Like I can only imagine.
I I've had some wild DMs. I mean, there's a ton of people that are just like, "Marry me now," and you know, it's all fun. I have had I had one girl, um, that was kind of off the walls. She messaged me, and it was very normal at first. It was very like just normal, like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." She's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "32." "How are you?" She's like, "Oh, I just had my birthday, 28, and I was in Turks and Caicos for my birthday." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Did you take any pictures while you were there?" She sent me a couple pictures of the vacation. I'm like, "Wow, that looks like a really nice trip." It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's like the extent of the conversation we had. Later that evening, I posted like day 11 or something, and I got another message from her shortly after that. And she was like, "Go ahead and keep posting like an idiot while you've got a faithful girl messaging you, blah blah blah." She was like, "You,"
Insane.
she's like, "You're not gonna find a wife. You don't deserve to find a wife acting like a fuck boy." And I was like, "Whoa." I typed something out. I wanted to say how I felt, and then I just deleted it and blocked her. I was like, I'm not here to make haters or enemies. I don't. I'm just not going to engage with the crazy behavior.
It's really is insane that people expect you to like have a wife on 20 days. Like that's actually crazy.
Yeah, that one was the craziest. And then, I mean, there are definitely some girls that hop in there and they're coming on a bit strong. It's all fun. I'm enjoying myself. There's a lot. I have a lot of messages to go through.
Yeah, does it get
It's
overwhelming a bit?
Oh, it's been super overwhelming. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's like in the beginning when things were kind of going crazy, I was I feel like I had like a head start, so I could keep up on it, and I was responding to all the comments and responding to messages. And now it's just like a lot, a lot, and I see it, and I'm like, I can't deal with that. So one day, trying to figure it out.
I feel that. Okay, but I guess like what are you actually looking for in a partner? Let's start there. Like what in a partner do you look for?
Somebody who's kind and somebody who's not afraid to be themselves. I think I convey that pretty well in my videos. I'm just trying to be myself, and I'm not really worried about the judgment of others. So if somebody could kind of reflect that, I would enjoy that. Somebody who's a little bit happy-go-lucky, optimistic. For me, dealing with you know losing important people in your life, you realize how short life is, and it just makes you not want to sweat the small stuff. I've dealt with that in past relationships where it's like, we're fighting about things that we should not be fighting about. And I that's always very apparent to me. I'm like, you're allowed to feel how you want to feel, and you're allowed to be frustrated and annoyed. I'm like, but let's get back to the good stuff, like quickly, like let's talk about it, move on. Um, yeah.
No, you just answered my other question too, because I was like, are there any things that you've been able to like reflect on, like old dating patterns that, has this series like helped you in a way, like kind of maybe, I feel like you are very secure in yourself, but like maybe even like reflect on some things like from the past dating or dating in the future, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I guess that sentiment in general is like, I want to take my time, get to know somebody fully, that way. You know how people put on the mask. It could be a few months. Unfortunately for some people, it's years, and you find out somebody's true colors. So just take my time, and then definitely try and find somebody that is uh, secure in themselves the same way. Not nobody's perfect, but just be happy. I just want to be happy. It's just not fun living every day trying to walk on eggshells and be worried about, oh, is this person going to be upset about this or upset about that? Um, so yeah, somebody who's kind. I mean, I do want to have kids. That's like an important thing to mention because there's a lot of 50 plus year old divorced women that are reaching out, which is great. But if you already have 5 kids and you're not having kids anymore, then it might not work out for us. So um, that's an important requirement for me in the future. It's not like a total deal breaker. Not everybody can have kids, so it'll work out the way it works out. But I guess that typical age range of somebody who's like still wanting to have kids is
Those
pretty important.
childbearing ages.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
I mean that's real. That's real. And people, I think, yeah, sometimes people date, they have different versions of kids. It just never works out. It's never going to work out if you guys want different things in that way, you know?
yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. So, okay, when it comes to dating, would you consider yourself a romantic or a realist?
I'm probably like a romantic realist.
Good answer.
um, I, honestly somewhere in the middle. Because I do like fantasize about the romantic things, and like I love going to the movies. I like going to the movie theater. It's I just love it. So I think about just being with my partner, holding hands, watching a movie, or going to a drive-in or something. Like that's definitely where my romantic side comes out. But then it's like maybe somebody doesn't want to go to the movies this day. That's the realist part coming in.
I
So,
feel that. Now that there is people watching though, and there's girls in the DMs, I'm sure there's other things besides messages in the DMs. Do you feel pressure to perform now that people are watching?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Real. He's a real one.
100%. I should have thought about it more when I started out. It's like not do this every day, like not not plan on having to do it every single day. Um, I did a thing in the past on TikTok where I was doing a backflip every day to like it was kind of like a metaphor for trying to flip my mind around from when I was being anxious or depressed. And I did it for like 200 something days. I was going to do it for a year. I didn't quite make it there. Um, but I learned from that, like, I need to not put so much pressure on myself about it, you know? So I've skipped a few days here and there, but I'm like, you know what? I can skip a day, on day 19. And then the next time I do it, it'll just be day 19 of me doing it. So I'm like, try and give myself a little bit of breathing room. I do feel pressure, and I don't really have. I don't. There's only been like a couple times where I had an idea for the next day. Usually, I'm like this afternoon. I'll be sweating trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to do. Talking to ChatGPT, which she's not totally reliable all the time. She will suggest things that I've already done. So I'm like, all right, we come on, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, you got to kind of
Times.
sometimes I don't do this all the time. I choose to be nice to mine, but sometimes you got to be like, "Girl, what the stop being dumb."
Oh yeah. No, I think my mom the other day was like, be nice to it." I'm like, "You're probably right. When the uprising comes, they'll remember."
I keep telling my mom to get on it. I'm like, "Girl, stop googling. Get a chat GPT." Like,
100%.
no, I think that's real though. And just give yourself grace, especially like with content creation and stuff. Like, yes, the consistency is what works. But it's literally like my job and it's overwhelming. I do it for all these people. Give yourself grace. You're doing great. It's going to come. It's a lot to manage, especially when you got several videos going viral at once. So you're
Yeah.
doing, and this is your real life. It's not like, I think that's what also like girls, like that one girl like like that you had to block. I'm like, this is your real life. You're not just like, yes, it is like a content series now, but like it's still like you're still a human. You're not Chat GPT. You're not a bot. But with that being said, would you ever take it offline? Like, would you go on real life dates with girls?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was just at the grocery store the other day, and I was getting cat litter, and there was like a little meet cute with another woman getting cat litter, and I was like, "Oh, she's cute. Are you single?" She's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Sweet. All right. I'm gonna go post another video." So hey, I mean, the real life stuff is still there. It's still possible, and I don't know. It's hard to meet people. It's hard to meet people these days. But I would. I guess the possibilities are endless with this whole series and whatnot. I mean, not too long ago, I was watching Drewski's "Could Have Been Love" on YouTube. His whole little
So good.
bachelor parody thing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I could 100% do something like that. Like with the right manpower and organization. Like there's plenty of women who are messaging in that I'm sure if I had some sort of casting where I was like, all right, we're gonna get a group of girls together, I could do something like that. I'm sure with the right manpower and you know. So I'm open to whatever, and I'm definitely not trying to stay in my house and just be on the computer all the time. So
Yeah, true. I mean, but I would marry ChatGPT if I could, probably, because
oh yeah, my cousin was like, just marry ChatGPT. I was like, if they can find out how to get this thing a body, I mean, it's possible.
I didn't even think about that, like Drew Skeever. That would be iconic, kind of. That would be iconic. But like, yeah, yeah. But so you were talking though. You are. I feel like that romantic coming out. You were saying you're like, yeah, I started this series, but I want to meet someone in real life. So how are you balancing that?
I mean, it is a little tough to balance because everybody likes attention. You can't you know you can deny it if you want, but um, my my focus does go to you know being on the social apps because I feel the pressure to continue and not quit and make people laugh and give the entertainment. And then I also enjoy the feedback. The feedback's great. I love, you know, people liking watching me. It's great. So it like I do have to kind of ground myself and be like, all right, well, we need to go. Like, I need to catch up with my little brother, and we need to go do something, go out or whatever. It's yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting because I'm never gonna get this kind of feedback in real life. It's just not, unless I become like some super celebrity and people recognize me. But so it's like it's addicting. So it's an interesting thing to have to balance. Um, but when you are looking for a person, I'm like, okay, well, I can either post a video on here, or I could go like walk around Barnes and Noble and try and see if I by chance run into somebody who is also single. That's the hard part about being out in the wild. You might run into somebody, but there's also the factor of them being available. So it's super. It's just a lot of chance. And people are weird nowadays. I mean, people are weird in general. So sometimes people don't want to be approached, or it's a whole different kind of nervousness when you're trying to find somebody in the wild if they're a stranger.
Yeah, especially I feel like, when you're younger, maybe you go to a bar or something, but like as you get older, like that's not really your vibe. So it's kind of like, where do you go? Like I always tell people like workout classes, cooking class, just putting yourself in different environments, like because you never really know. Because a lot of it is, I think, chance, just being, somewhere at the right time, like doing something. But it's also, I think, like your internal energy too. Like feeling confident in yourself, and like I think that's why it took off so quickly, because you can just tell like you're just who you are and you don't really care. It wasn't a performance, even though it was like a great music video. uh you're just secure in yourself, and so I think that's a huge part of like dating. And like I think a lot of people are like kind of like insecure in themselves and then trying to like go find someone else to make them feel secure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the way that a lot of organic dating stuff happens is like it's like kind of with everything else. Like it's all about who you know. Like maybe you meet somebody through like a friend group or something. It's really tough when you're just like out there lone wolf in it and expecting to run into somebody else lone wolf in it. Like that's it's not going to happen very easy. So I mean, this might be the new.
It might be the new thing too. And even like I think that it's cool too, like what you said about it's about who you know. That's how life is. Even if you go put yourself in a new situation like one of those classes, and you might not meet a guy there, but you meet a girl that knows a guy that knows a
Right.
guy, it's like it's a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
world, but it's really not. Like it's really a small world where we're
Right.
connected.
And that was like my whole thought process on this was like I just kept thinking to myself like exposure. Like the only way that I'm going to like have the most options is to have the most amount of people see me. There's been there was one lady on TikTok that she just commented and posted just a picture of her daughter's face.
That
And she
is
was like, "This is my daughter so and so." And there's been tons of people that are like, "Oh, I'm gonna like, can I recommend my friend?" Or I have a daughter. Like, there's been a ton of moms that are like, "My daughter's single. My daughter's single. I need a. You look like a wonderful son-in-law." Like, so yeah, it's definitely all about who you know. And me being able to give myself maximum exposure, and I wasn't expecting it to go viral, but I'm like, if people are seeing this at all, it's giving me a better chance than, you know, like I said, going to Barnes and Noble and gambling.
totally. That's such a mom thing to do too. That's such a mom thing to do.
The one with the selfie was cracked me up. I was dying laughing.
I don't even know how to comment pictures on comments, so that mom is like with
Me
it.
either.
That mom is
You
with
figured it
it.
out. The best part, it's just like no tag though. Like no way for me to see like who this person is. She's like, this is her right here. I have no other information.
That made me think of two quick questions. So you said like you want to have the maximum amount of options, but sometimes I think that is like one of the bigger problems in dating. Like you swipe, 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 swipe or no swiping. and you think a better option's going to come around. And now I think you're kind of seeing like now you have so many options and you're like, well, I just want to lay in the bed and look at the ceiling.
I think, well, you're 100% right, but I think more so on women's side of things. I think that that's something that women deal with a lot more is like just the bombardment of so many options and so many likes. And I mean, at least in my experience, when I've been on dating apps, it's like I got a match this week, and then my girlfriend is over here, like friend that's a girl is over here, just like, oh, ew, 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 like scrolling through all these these likes that she has, being like, I'm not interested in any of these people. So I'm kind of on the other side of it now, where I think I'm kind of experiencing what a lot of females experience on a regular basis when they're on a dating app, where it's just like, okay, well, I have all these options, but they're all, you know, not my cup of tea. Uh, so yeah, it's not the worst problem to have. I know many.
Champagne
I
problems.
know. I know many guys who would be super stoked to have this problem. So it's a lonely world out there for some men.
I know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, and then you said another thing too, which so you are in Florida and we love that. You want to stay there, you're a Florida boy. But however, what if you are messaging someone, the chat is good, the banter's good, you guys maybe have a couple FaceTime dates for a few weeks. Like, would you go somewhere? I'm not saying like move there or do anything, but like would you go somewhere for a proper date?
For sure. I've done a lot of traveling in the past, so I will admit I'm way more partial to having somebody come see me at this point in my life. I've just kind of like nested where I want to be. I used to live in the Virgin Islands for a long time. I grew up there, and I moved around a bit after that, and so I've gone all over the place. I've been on planes more than probably most of the population. So yes, I will say yes. I would be willing to, drive somewhere or hop on a plane to go uh, visit the right person. Um, but I'll also, I'll split a plane ticket if you want to come see me. You know, I don't mind forking up some cash if it means that I don't have to go. But yeah, it's all about the right person, what the vibe is. I'm open to whatever.
For sure. So ladies, don't be a weirdo and you might could go to St. Augustine.
Yeah, you can always go to St. Augustine. It's an open place to visit. Uh,
But you know what I mean. Okay, so I really appreciate you hopping on. I know you're just going crazy viral. You got a video to make today, so thank you for taking the time. But let's end with a little bit of fun, a little bit of rapid fire, okay? So what is a first date red flag?
I'll probably have to say cigarettes. I can't do it. I know these girls are ripping vapes like it's their job these days. That's a little easier to deal with when it's like it's like tropical fruity fragrances in the air. That or just like talking about your ex or something too much on the first date is
For sure.
a
It's
little bit
like
of a red flag.
go hang out with him.
Yeah, going out with him.
I feel that. Okay, so what about what is a first date green flag?
I guess kindness. I've got a pretty good like bullshit meter, so I can pretty quickly pick up on somebody's energy or their vibe. So uh, genuineness. That's a good green flag.
We love that. It's hard to find these days. What would be your dream first date?
See, I immediately go to the movies, but uh,
No, that is not a good
probably
first date.
probably not. Probably not. No, because you want to be able to talk to somebody. um, Honestly, probably going to the beach here and looking for shark's teeth. It's a good first date. It's fun, interactive.
Have you found any?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
tons.
sickening. Love it. I meant that in a good way.
They
Ok-
These sharks have been dead for millions of years. Don't worry.
Oh, you like
Yeah.
sharks?
Sharks are cool. I mean, I would prefer to not be near them, but they're cool. You know, you gotta have some respect for them.
Yeah, you do. They'll eat you. So this one's pretty easy, I feel like, but Chat GPT or a dating app.
ChatGPT all the way. It has proven itself.
I know I love her. When you were on the apps, which did you have one you preferred?
Hinge, 100%. Hinge was easily the best one. I got banned. I don't know why. Yeah, I got banned. My little brother got banned too, but he got banned like he downloaded it and only had it for like half a day and was banned. I don't know why. We're both nice guys. I'm not sure what happened.
That's
I'm not sure what happened, but that's my like biggest pet peeve with them is like if you get banned, you're done. Like you're toast. You can't make another account. Like they don't tell you why you got banned. You can't like they say you can appeal it, but it's crazy. Once you're banned from Hinge, you're banned. So be careful out there.
I had
Be careful.
no idea.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It was really unfortunate because that was like the best. It was the best quality and quantity as far as like matches and actually being able to meet people.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I would have to agree. It's like the one that you would go. Like, yes, I agree. Did you have an opening line? Maybe this will see why you got banned.
No, no. I honestly, there's only one thing that I can think of that I may have gotten reported for. Um, I was going with the thought process of shock value, and I called this girl a beautiful bitch. And I bitch is one of my favorite words
I do.
right now. But like, I'm like bitch. I'm not like I'm not trying to be mean, but it worked because the girl immediately responded. But she was like, "Were you raised by dogs?" I was like, "Well, that didn't go the way I wanted to," and then she probably reported me. So that could have been it. But I said she was a beautiful bitch. I guess she got offended. I was like, I don't know your personality. Obviously, I'm just. It's a term of endearment.
That is honestly iconic. I would love to get that message. So,
I said you're a beautiful bitch, and she did not like it.
did you put an emoji though?
I don't know.
Maybe because maybe she was like,
Think,
"You're beautiful." Like, thought it was me, you being mean.
do you do you think the emoji would have helped?
Maybe, or maybe like a voice memo, like bitch.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah. You gotta put the right emphasis on it. But we'll never know because I am permanently banned.
well then that makes sense why we had to resort to ChatGPT, my guy. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll end on a serious note. If your future wife is listening right now, what would you want her to know?
I'm coming for you.
What?
I'm coming for you. Just wait. Just be patient. Uh, yeah, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is great that you don't want to rush it because I know a lot of guys that, make content in general. And if something like this would happen to them, then they would just turn into a monster, like a monster. And so I think you're handling it with grace. And I can't wait to watch the journey. And because I think it's going to be so special. Like we get to watch you dancing to Fergalicious to going on dates to going down the altar. Are you going to record it all? Like I feel like, it is your personal life, but like I feel like we are on the journey now.
I definitely I'm definitely gonna document things along the way for sure. I mean, I have those thoughts where I'm like, oh man, how cool would it be to eventually be putting out a video of you're walking down the aisle and whatnot. It'll be a good story. So yeah, you do have to balance out the sanity and privacy of your personal life, but I'll be documenting it for sure.
Amazing. Well, I am so thankful that you were on the podcast. Is there anything you want to say before we end?
I love you, mom.
Oh, hi, mom.
And yeah, that's it. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
My mom's probably going to say we should get married because anytime I interview a guy, she's like, well, that was a great conversation. You guys should get married. And I'm like, Mom, it's a podcast. Like, it's supposed to be a good conversation.
Well, she's just looking out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, moms are like that. My mom would be the mom commenting on TikTok because she's always like, I don't care, live your life. And then she's like, you know, the greeter at Walmart or something like that. So, like, moms are just like that. Like, moms
Yeah,
are like that.
he's a good boy. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Hunter. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You as well, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye bye.